Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie, and in today's video we're going to talk about some new makeup releases, if I'm planning on purchasing them or if I'm just going to pass over them all together and just give my overall thoughts. This video is inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series, so I'll have her Will I Buy It playlist linked in the description box down below, as well as the community playlist she created where other creators can create this type of video. So if you enjoy this kind of new makeup releases videos, you can find some more down below. I have so many releases to talk about today, so it might be a longer video, so let's get right into it. The first release that I have to address has to be from Tarte. About a year ago, on April 1st, Tarte sneak peeked a palette called the Icy Betch, which is like a blue and green dream of a palette, but turns out it's an April Fool's joke. Well, a year later, they're releasing the palette. It's the Icy Betch palette, and it only retails for $24, which I actually don't think is that bad. According to the Trend Mood One website, it includes 5 matte and 4 luster and high impact shades from icy blues to steely silvers and 1 beaming highlight. It is available now, so I'll have all the products that I mentioned linked down below. I think I'm going to put a side by side of this palette and the original Icy Betch, and I feel like the original one was so much better. You have that really dark blue, but it's a sparkling blue, and I would prefer to matte. And I liked how the original palette had blues and green, and this kind of has 1 green and there's no mattes to complement that. Additionally, when you put in a highlighter as white as this one, you might be able to suit me and my fair skin tone, but hardly anybody else. So it really makes the palette kind of limited. So you're either buying it for the highlight or you're buying a palette knowing there's a highlight you can't use. I feel like when it comes to this palette, it's too little too late. A lot of brands, especially indie brands, have come out with similar blues and green shadows. I think a Shop Hush palette duped it. I don't know, it's a little too late. I'm hoping that maybe Tarte realized that people do want color and they can release a colorful palette, because I'm not gonna buy this one. I would have bought the original one a year ago, but not this one. So this isn't a new makeup release, it's more like makeup news, and Colourpop is currently having a BYOP or build your own palette sale. So if you go into their website, you can click the size palette you want, and then you can determine if you want all eyeshadows, some face shades, some shadows, all face palette, and it includes the palette. I think if you're looking to expand your single shadow collection, or you just like the Colourpop formula in general, this is a great sale. I bought several of the BYOP palettes, and I think it's a lot better than buying the individual shadows, plus you get the palette and it's at a discounted price. Every shadow, or almost every shadow that I've tried from Colourpop has been great quality, and I do like the few face products that I've tried from them as well. So just want to let you guys know this is currently going on, and I will have the Colourpop website linked down below. Another sort of makeup announcement is that Too Faced is expanding their shade range in their Born This Way Super Coverage Full Coverage Concealer. They now have a total of 35 shades, and the concealer retails for $29 and has 15 milliliters of product. I've never tried this concealer because generally super full coverage kind of doesn't go for my concealer needs. I like a concealer that's buildable because sometimes I'll wear it without foundation and just concealer on itself, but sometimes for my more full coverage days, I do like to layer up the concealer. I have heard such positive reviews on this, and it looks like there's a shade that has my undertone, so maybe I'll go into stores and swatch it next time I'm at a local Sephora or Ulta. But if you like this concealer and you haven't been able to find your perfect shade, you might be able to find one now since they just expanded the shade range. So if you hear any noise in the background, my cat is wandering around my room, so just as a forewarning. But the next release comes from Artist Couture. Artist Couture is a brand that's owned by Angel, who is a YouTuber and makeup artist. And he's releasing new shades of his Diamond Glow Powder Loose Powder Highlights. He's releasing 2 shades. The first is Summer Haze, which is a light champagne pink base with multicolored pearls that retails for $28. Second is Purple Dream, which is a neutral peachy gold base with magenta and purple pearls for $27. And he's also releasing a clear holographic makeup bag for $12. These are going to be available on April 1st, which should be the day that I am posting this video. So loose highlighters really aren't my thing, so I actually haven't tried anything from Artist Couture, but they look beautiful, and I think that first one, Summer Haze, actually looks like it'd be really flattering. But I find that with loose products in general, there's a little too messy and they just highlight texture, so I tend to go for a pressed or cream product. But if you like loose highlighters and you like the Artist Couture formula, this might be a great release because I think these highlighter colors are super unique, and I feel like duochrome highlighters have such a time and a place in the spring and summer. So Nars is coming out with their 800th Orgasm collection, and this one includes an Orgasm palette, a new Orgasm blush jumbo size for $40, an Orgasm oil-infused lip tint for $26, and they're available now at Sephora. I got an Orgasm blush as the Ulta birthday gift last year, and to be honest, I am not that thrilled with it. It's not as pigmented as I was like. I feel like I had such high expectations because literally since middle school, people have been talking about the Orgasm blush, and it's kind of, I have other blushes, especially more affordable ones, that I like better. So I wouldn't buy one the jumbo size, and I feel like Orgasm has been around for so long that if you like it, you probably have a full-size product. And blush is one of those items that takes literal years to go through, so a jumbo size one would just be great as it sits in your collection and stays there forever, and it would probably expire before you even got close to finishing it. I do think the palette is absolutely beautiful, but once again, it's not really something I need. I don't think there's a retail price on the palette according to the Trend Mood site, but if there's any additional information, I'll once again put it down below. I think the face palette is pretty, but Nars is one of those brands that releases literally a dozen face palettes a year, and they've released other ones that have called to me more than this. Especially considering that I'm not too fond of Orgasm as it is, I really wouldn't want it in a palette form. But if you like Orgasm or you want to try out this collection, I do have to say it looks beautiful, and it is available now. Pat McGrath is releasing single eyeshadows, her Idol shadows. According to, once again, the Trend Mood website, which I will have linked down below, as well as the other resources I use to find makeup, they are smooth pigments, tempting fixtures, and subliminally saturated to transcend the spectrum. Tease and tempt in tantalizing textures, cross-polymorphic mattes that deliver an ultra-soft focus effect, gel powder metallics that exude velvety, smooth iridescence, and high-impact pearlescent shimmers that lavish eyes in lustrous, multidimensional color. She's releasing 17 shades, and they retail for $25 each. I know some of these shades are available in her palette, and these aren't any of her special formulas, those like really pretty toppers that have those multi-chrome reflex. And to be honest, $25 for a shadow, that's a price tag that I'm not willing to commit to. I do want to try Pat McGrath eventually, but I think if I'm going to try anything from her brand, I'd try a palette that's more curated and instead of a single. The shades on the swatches look stunning, especially those two on the right, that purple and that teal. But $25 for one shadow, that's a lot. And to be honest, I wouldn't gravitate towards it. So my cat has decided to make a special guest appearance during the video. So if you hear any noises or see a bunch of rustling, it's just him. Say hi. So Kylie Cosmetics is releasing 3 new shades of her lip kits. There is the shade Bad Little Thing, which is a matte, the shade Extraordinary, which is also a matte, and the shade of Mind Your Business, which is a nude velvet. I think that like beautiful red shade looks beautiful, and the pink's pretty as well, but I find that I don't really wear pinks, and I already have a few nudes from Kylie, but that red, she wore it in her Instagram recently, and she looked, I mean, Kylie's beautiful, but she looked like stunning. Because Kylie Cosmetics is now sold at Ulta, it makes her products more accessible. So I feel like if I was going to buy something from her, I would buy it at Ulta because I could swatch out the colors and find out which one really worked for me. I do have a Kylie lipstick on my radar. The shade Ginger I think is beautiful, and I've always wanted it. So now that she's at Ulta, I think next time I get a 20% off coupon, I'll pick it up. But that red is on my radar, but if you like any of the Kylie lipsticks, I do think the formula is good. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the worst. But if those colors are drawing you in, I definitely recommend them. So Fenty Beauty kind of snapped this week and released a ton of new products. They released Silhouette Foil Highlighters, the shade Penny for Your Thoughts, which is a beautiful like penny copper color, the duo in the shades Afternoon Snack and Mo Honey, and then Rihanna is also releasing bronzers. She's releasing these Sunstalker bronzers, which come in 8 different shades. The bronzers retail for $30 each, and they claim to give instant warmth that brings out the right undertones, and they're creamy powder bronzers that are blendable and transfer resistant. I have a bunch of bronzers in my collection that I'm really happy with at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to be picking that up, but it looks like she has a great shade range that could fit a variety of skin tones. She's also coming out with a bronzer brush that retails for $34, and it's the Sculpting Bronzer Brush, which is a tapered bronzer brush with a custom paw shape to contour the face with effortless precision. The Cheek Hugging Bronzer Brush is $36, and it's an extra large, super plush bronzer brush that's expertly chiseled to hug the curves of your faces. She's also releasing a mini set, which definitely caught my attention. It's the Little Bronzer Duo, and it has a mini bronze set. There's a mini Sunstalker Instant Warmth Bronzer and a mini Matchstick. They comes in 2 different shades. There's one for a light to medium skin tone and one for medium to dark. I think if the light to medium skin tone was able to fit my skin, I would definitely consider buying it because I love being able to purchase minis because then you don't have to commit to the full size and you could find out if you like it and realistically be more likely to use a mini. They're also coming out with mini of their Pro Filter setting powders, and they're coming out with minis in the shade Butter, Cashew, Honey, and Nutmeg. And this retails for $16. Once again, I think this is a great idea. I did want to try some of her setting powders, but I really hardly use setting powders, so buying a full-size product would be really wasteful and something I realistically wouldn't go through in my collection. But having a mini for only $16 is something I can definitely get on board, especially the fact that the shade Butter is in a mini, because that would be the shade that would be able to suit my skin tone. So the collaboration between BHCosmetics and ItsmyRaeRae round 2 was finally revealed, and it's this palette that dreams are made of. There are jewel tone shimmers and mattes, and you still have some everyday neutrals. Some of the looks that ItsmyRaeRae had on in her promo pictures were absolutely stunning, so I only assumed the palette would be colorful, and I am so pleasantly surprised. The palette retails for $17.50 and is already available on the BHCosmetics website. I think if you like color at all, this looks like a great palette. BHCosmetics is super affordable, and I've heard nothing but good things about their quality, so I feel like this would totally impress. I don't need this palette by any means, considering I just bought Riviera and had some similar colors, but I want this palette. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it now or, to be honest, buy it all, but this is absolutely beautiful. I love the purples and the burgundies, which I feel like could be worn neutral or as a pop of color, and that blue, that like beautiful, like deep ocean blue. Beautiful palette. Congratulations. This is a great release. So Alamar Cosmetics has dropped their blush palettes and lip glosses. They are coming out with 3 different blush palettes for 3 different skin tones, and they retail for $22 each. There's a light, medium, and deep palette, and they have 3 different shades. One looks a little bit more orangey, one's more pinky, and one's more red. I think these are absolutely beautiful, and at $22, that is not a bad price at all. Judging from the screen, the light one looks a little bit light, even for me, so I'd have to see more people using it, but I think it's beautiful. I love that like marbled galaxy packaging, and I love the fact that she came out for different palettes for different skin tones. I think that is such a great idea because then you can buy one more catered to you, and most likely all of the blushes would work. The lip glosses retail for $10 each, and they come in 4 different shades. I don't see a release date yet, but once again, I'll update you guys in a future video when this is available, but this looks absolutely beautiful. I'd love to see some people working with this product on their channels, and I know Kathleen Lights is best friends with Gabby, who's the creator of Alamar Cosmetics, so you'll probably see these products featured at some point on her channel. I'm also interested if these products will be found in a BoxyCharm. Gabby, who's the owner of Alamar Cosmetics, used to be the makeup artist for BoxyCharm, and I know she put her Reina del Caribe Volume 1 palette in the box, as well as her brush set. So I feel like if people got that in their BoxyCharm, you'd be able to hear some great reviews from a variety of different YouTubers. But definitely have my eye on this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So MAC is coming out with another collection, and I feel like everybody talks about how Colourpop released a lot of products, but MAC does too. It's their Electric Wonder collection. The collection includes bronzing powders, highlights, lipsticks, lip glosses, and these 2 Art Library eyeshadow palettes. To be honest, this eyeshadow palette is one of the most underwhelming things I've seen in a while. I feel like at this point, you probably have your staple neutrals, and the warm tone one looks like something that I've had 100 times over. And even the cool tone one, even though I'm relatively new to cool tones, is something that I have. I'm disappointed and uninspired by this collection, and I really hoped MAC would step out of the box. I think the best thing about these eyeshadow palettes is that marble pink packaging. And I know I sound a little bit harsh, but when you're paying the price point that you're paying for MAC, I really wanted to add value to my collection instead of being duplicates of shades that I already own a few times over. If you are interested in this collection though, it'll be available on April 4th for the UK and Ireland, and the release date for the US has yet to be announced. I think some of the lipstick shades are absolutely beautiful, but I am trying to pan a few lipsticks in my project pan, so I'm going to reserve off those for now. But the prices from the rest of the collection, the Next to Nothing bronzing powder is $30, the iridescent powder is $35, the lipsticks retail for $20 each, and the lip glosses are $19 each, and the eyeshadow palettes are $43 each. Oh, there's also a face palette, which I haven't seen pictures of, but that retails for $43, and their split fiber eye blending brush is $26. So if you're interested in the collection, those are some of the prices if that helps you decide if you're going to buy it or not. So a release that I am so excited about comes from Catrice. If you've been following my 9 brands in 2019 series, you'll know that Catrice was one of them, and I actually did pick up a product from them. I got their liquid camouflage concealer. And although I love that concealer, it comes in like 3 or 4 shades, so it's very difficult for me to put that in a monthly favorites and recommend it to you guys when it's very limited and probably a lot of audience wouldn't be able to purchase it. So I am so happy to announce that Catrice is expanding their shade range. They're coming out with 17 new shades, and I think this is great because it'd be more accessible to a wide variety of skin tones. I absolutely love this concealer. I find that it's buildable, full coverage, and it's not cakey or drying under my under eyes. I can wear it on itself as just concealer, or I can blend it out for foundation, and I find that it looks flawless 99% of the time. If you can find your shade in the expanded shade range, or one of the original shades, I definitely recommend picking up this concealer. Catrice is also super affordable. I don't remember the price offhand, but they are a relatively affordable drugstore brand, so this concealer definitely would not break the bank. Drunk Elephant is also dropping 2 new products. They're coming out with a SOOO Makeup Melting Butter Cleanser that has kiwi strawberry seed blend and virgin marula oil, and their Bamboo Booster Exfoliate Physique. I haven't tried anything from Drunk Elephant. They are just a very pricey skincare brand, but 2 of their products are available as this year's Sephora birthday gift, and I plan on picking up that set just so I can get a feel for their products. I know a lot of people do hold Drunk Elephant at cult status and they really like their products, so if you're one of those people, you'd probably be super excited that they're expanding their skincare range. I'd be interested in hearing reviews on this and seeing a price on this, but realistically, I know how much Drunk Elephant retails for, so I don't think I'll be picking this up. The release that I was waiting for months has finally been dropped, and it's the Game of Thrones and Urban Decay collection. They're coming with so many products, it's actually a bit overwhelming. So let's go through the collection one by one and talk about the products. The first product that immediately caught my attention was the eyeshadow palette. This is the Game of Thrones eyeshadow palette that retails for $65. And at first I was kind of confused because I thought they were individual quads instead of the entire eyeshadow palette. It comes in this like bulky packaging, but I feel like that's part of the element because it has like a pop-up Iron Throne. And I think the packaging for the collection is kind of cool and unique. It's a little bit chaotic, but it screams Game of Thrones. I kind of wish this was 4 quads instead of the giant palette because I feel like some of the color schemes are a bit redundant. I love the first one, which I think is the White Walkers, and the last one, which is the Targaryens. But I feel like maybe because I really do like Game of Thrones, a lot of the color schemes don't go with the houses. It's a lot of colorful and really pretty shimmers, but there's some neutral mattes, so it'd be hard to create a complete eye look that'd be all colorful. I definitely have to see this palette in stores. It's on my list, but the price tag is kind of hefty, so I don't actually know if I'm going to end up buying it. The collection also includes 2 brushes, which I think is like the best design part, and it's based off of Jon Snow's Longclaw and Arya Stark's Needle. These brushes retail for $28 each, and I really want them, but realistically, I know because they're so beautiful, I would never use them, and they would just sit up on my shelf, and I love them, I love them, I love them, and I think they're so cute, and they add so much value to this collection. There's also the Slide On Glide On waterproof eye pencils in 4 new shades. There is Dragon Smoke, Lannister Gold, The Night King, and Winterfell Snow. I think these look really pretty, and some of the pencils look like they're almost duochromes. Definitely gonna have to go into Sephora and swatch this and see what the true reflex are. There's also 4 different shades of the Vice lipsticks, which retail for $19 each. You have Cersei Lannister, which is a metallic bronze, Daenerys Targaryen, a fiery red, Sansa Stark, which is a warm peach nude, and White Walker, which is a deep berry wine. I think these are pretty, and out of all of them, I would pick up the nude, which is Sansa, but I honestly kind of am disappointed with the color selection they chose. When I think of Sansa, I think of her red hair, so I feel like that would have been kind of a cool way to play off of it. The White Walker could have been like a color-changing duochrome, like lip topper with like a white to blue reflect or a lip gloss. I just feel like they kind of played it safe with this collection, and it's almost predictable to an extent. There's also the Mother of Dragons Afterglow palette, which has 3 shades of the Afterglow highlighters and retails for $36. It's a beautiful palette, and I like how it's modeled after Daenerys' dragon eggs. But the thing about highlighter palettes is that if you buy one that's catered for all skin tones, chances are all of them won't work on your skin tone. I know for me, I could probably make some use of that iridescent purple one, probably as an eyeshadow or inner corner highlight, and maybe that bronze one, but there's no way that deeper one will work on my skin. And if you have a deep skin tone, the lighter ones wouldn't work for you. So I love that they release this as single eggs instead of the entire palette, but I do understand the marketing scheme. And the last product is the Dacaris Lip and Cheek Stain, a universally flattering Targaryen red tint, which retails for $26. As beautiful as I think this product is, I'm not the kind of person that wears like cheek or lip stains, so it really wouldn't have any use in my makeup collection, but I think if you're one of those like effortless makeup people, this is really pretty. You could also buy the entire vault for the collection for $250, which I don't know what was going through my mind when this collection dropped, but I was like, oh, should I get the vault? But now that I broke it down by individual items, I realized that I do not need everything. But those are all the products for the Game of Thrones and Urban Decay collection. Are you a Game of Thrones fan? Are you planning on picking this up? Let me know what you think. So also in that 9 in 2019 video that I did about brands I want to try, I mentioned BYOP. I also mentioned that BYOP was releasing the Whale Song palette, and I kind of had this picture in my head based on the cover photo of like blues and greens and some purples, and I was praying that the inside matched my thoughts. BYOP has released the layout for the palette, and it's currently photoshopped, but Certified does this a lot too, where they photoshop the colors and then release what the shadows actually look like. I think the best thing about this palette is that it has a pre-sale price of $25 and a retail price of $29. That is such a good price tag, especially for an indie brand that's smaller and kind of has to manufacture their own stuff. And the inside of this palette is what my dreams are made of. I can't wait to see what the actual shadows look like, and I'd love to hear some reviews on this, but this is likely going to be the first product that I pick up from BYOP. I think these blues would complement a lot of the shadows in my collection already, and I'm so excited to try out this formula. Pre-orders for this palette are available today that the video drops, and I'm not sure when the palette will actually go live, but once again, I'll update you guys with any further information. So Ulta Beauty is coming out with a collaboration with the Avengers. They are coming out with a eyeshadow palette, 3 makeup bags, highlighter palette, 4 lip glosses, and 4 matte liquid lipsticks to celebrate the end of the Avengers Endgame, coming out in April. This is already launched on Ulta Beauty, but I am very unimpressed with this collection. I feel like it looks almost, dare I say it, childish. It's kind of like they took a bunch of products that don't really go with the whole superhero theme and then just slapped on a bunch of the superhero logos. The eyeshadow palette is neutrals with a pop of blue, and it's something we've all seen. I would love to see like maybe a row for each Avenger. Like Black Widow could have those like a dark, deep black and like a sultry gray. Iron Man could have had some like rich tone reds. The Hulk could have had some beautiful greens. You could have done blue for Captain America. Hawkeye could have even had your neutral browns if you really wanted it. I feel like this collection is very underwhelming and they played it really safe, and I'm kind of disappointed by that. I was really looking forward to this collection when it was announced, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be picking anything up from it. And the last product that I want to talk about comes from Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever is releasing their Matte Velvet Skin Blurring Powder Foundation. It has I guess like an original price of $28.50, but then its regular price is $38, and it comes in 30 different shades. I'm not one for powder foundation. My skin is really dry, and I already have trouble with liquid foundation looking dry and cakey, so I know it'd only be exasperated by powder foundation. But if you like powder foundation, I am so thrilled that this comes in 30 different shades. The shade range looks really good from what I can tell, so I'm assuming that you could probably find a shade that would be able to suit you in this collection. I love the fact they also have like a pre-sale price and a full price, because that gives consumers the opportunity to try the product at a slightly lower retail price. Do you like powder foundations? Is this something you're interested in? Do you like the Makeup Forever foundations? Let me know if you're planning on buying this. So that wraps up all of the products that I want to talk about in today's video. Which products did you like and are planning on buying, and which releases just didn't grab your attention? I'd love if you let me know your comments and your thoughts on the new releases in the comment bar down below. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I post at least one video every week, and I hope to see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.